Hi everyone, CJ Rambler here, and thank you for joining me on this grand finale recap of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 8. I would have come into the room purse first, but I don't have a damn purse! So, unless you've been living under a rock, we are now down to the final three here on RuPaul's Drag Race. Bob the Drag Queen, Kimchi, and Naomi Smalls. And I have to say, I think this is probably the best final three we have had throughout the whole show. My number one pick from even before the show aired was Bob the Drag Queen, but I knew that regardless of the outcome, I was going to be happy because I love every single one of these girls that are left. So let's get started with the opening of the show. We had RuPaul posing on stage with all the past winners of the show, and he did his little spiel about calling someone to come back onto the stage, and it turned out to be the clown from the very first episode in the photo shoot when Bianca Del Rio wasn't available. And I am convinced now at this point that that clown is Mimi on First. I did not see her in the audience as far as I know, and I really think that was Mimi on First, so who knows. So let's talk about all of the girls' runway looks as RuPaul called them back out on stage. First was Dax exclamation point wearing this really tight black bodysuit gown with a white wig that I'm assuming was probably a reject from Halle Berry's wardrobe during X-Men. Next was Layla McQueen wearing a purple lingerie outfit, very much like a madam of a brothel. Cynthia Lee Fontaine, she was wearing a sequin red gown that was showing off the backside of her cuckoo, as she likes to say. Next up was Neisha Lopez. She was wearing a really pretty red gown that had lace all over it and was wearing a nice long wig that had a part down the middle. Next was Acid Betty, and she was giving me a fire-breathing dragging moment. I really love that outfit. Robbie Turner, just like most of his outfits on the show, I was not feeling it. It was a very frumpy gold gown that had like a lot of fringe at the top, and I just didn't care for it. Thorgy Thor, definitely giving me some Fifth Element realness. I thought it was a really wacky outfit, but Thorgy Thor is a wacky queen, so I thought it fit him perfectly. Derrick Barry, I have to say, for as much as I harped on him during the show for not having good outfits, this was without a doubt the best I've seen Derrick Barry look. He had this really nice kind of nude illusion going on that had a lot of sequin, and he had this gorgeous blonde wig, and it looks like he finally learned how to really block his brows. So I was pretty pleased with his outfit. Then last was Chi Devayne, who had a really awesome like black gown that had like a heavy collar, and then he was rocking the Marilyn Monroe wig. And then RuPaul introduced the final three. First up was Bob the Drag Queen. He was wearing a white gown that had like a long overcoat on it that had these big shoulder pads and some blue hair. Looked really great. Kimchi, this is probably my favorite outfit that I've seen the whole season. I absolutely loved it. It was like an ice blue fairy tale. Kind of reminded me of something that you would see like out of the movie Frozen, which sounds a little silly, but I really think that that's how it looked. And I loved his bright blue hair. Naomi Smalls had a really cool like green gown. She was rocking the Princess Leia buns. Not my favorite look of hers that I've seen, but again, it was still a really cool outfit. So just like the finale last season, RuPaul had each of the final three girls lip sync to a song that was specially written for them. I love it that they came up with this idea because I think it gives us a chance to see the girls make one last really great impression, and it gives us a chance to see what their real abilities are outside of performing on that small stage on the show. So first up was Bob the Drag Queen. His song was called I Don't Like to Show Off. Perfect for him. And I love it that he first came out working with the audience. Loved his outfit. Watching him dance on the stage, there was some real choreography there, and it made me feel like I was watching a Missy Elliott video from the late 90s. I absolutely loved it. And at the very end, he attempted to do a death drop. I'm pretty sure Bob can do a death drop. I think he was just making it funny. Then after Bob's lip sync, RuPaul had a short little interview with him. And what was really cool about Bob's interview was that they highlighted how great he did in the Snatch game, where he played Uzo Aduba, is that how you say it? And Carol Channing. And we actually got to see a video message from Carol Channing telling Bob how she thought he did so great. And I thought that was so cool. I would be like freaking out if I got a video message from Carol Channing. Bob the drag queen also gave RuPaul a purse, so RuPaul could enter a room purse first. I think they said purse first maybe like 15 times throughout the whole episode. Next up to lip sync was Kimchi. His song was called Fat Feminasian. And again, loved this outfit. It was kind of like a throwback on Marie Antoinette, but with a modern twist. He did do some dancing. While it wasn't fantastic, it was still like, to me, based on what I've seen on the show, I thought that he did a great job with his movement. And I love the whole like isolation thing he was giving us. And I am so excited because I am going to meet Kimchi this Friday at Necto in Ann Arbor. So I am so excited about that. During Kimchi's interview, she got a video message from Margaret Cho, which I thought was really cool. I really thought that Kimchi's mom was going to show up on like the video camera or maybe show up on stage, because Kimchi made it aware throughout the season that his mom did not know that he did drag, and he said that his mom still doesn't know that he does drag, which is just amazing to me. And then last lip syncing was Naomi Smalls. Her song, I knew what it would be called before she even got on stage, Legs. I mean, that's what she's been known for this whole season. And I couldn't help but feel like this song was maybe like a rejected recording from RuPaul in the mid-90s, because that's exactly what it sounded like to me. But she looked great on stage, and I loved it that they showed Stacey Lane Matthews recording her performance with her little Samsung Galaxy, like. And then when RuPaul was interviewing Naomi Smalls, what was with the Lena Headey video message? I really thought that maybe because they were talking about Naomi Smalls' Snatch game that New York was going to pop up on the screen. So I don't understand what was with that whole Game of Thrones reference. I don't remember Naomi talking about that at all throughout the whole time on the show. So that was a little random. So once Naomi Smalls was done with her lip sync, we got to sit down with each of the past eliminated queens and just learn a little bit more about them. Dax exclamation point said that the song I Will Survive haunts him everywhere he goes. That's a song that got him and Layla McQueen eliminated at the same time. Layla McQueen, we found out that she and RuPaul have a past. But it's not what you're thinking. RuPaul showed a picture of a late 2010s Layla McQueen emo kid standing next to RuPaul in his non-presidential campaign. When it got to Cynthia Lee Fontaine's turn, we found out that she had stage 1 liver cancer right after the show, which I thought was really sad to hear about, and she actually brought up the fact that Acid Betty was the one that visited her most and took care of her, which really surprised everyone. RuPaul was even like, "That Acid Betty?" And then Neisha Lopez, we found out that she eats well, she works out, and she has 10 cc's of silicone. She also told us that if she were to do the Madonna Runway Challenge, being as creative as she is, she would have wore a kimono. Then Acid Betty got a video message from Nancy Grace, who told her that she thought she did a great job in Snatch Game, and also said, "You were robbed." Then we got to Robbie Turner, who was talking about how much he loves old Hollywood. I remember before the show, I really thought Robbie Turner was a great drag queen, but watching this show, and especially watching the episodes over again, I really don't care for Robbie Turner. I thought he was really, like, bitchy on the show in a bad way. Like, people harp on how mean Acid Betty was, but I thought Robbie Turner was just full of excuses and just really annoying. So I really don't have much more to say about him. Then next up was Thorgy Thor, who talked about how he has a love-hate relationship with Bob the Drag Queen. We also learned that Thorgy Thor wants to start his own Thorchestra. Then next up was Derrick Barry, who is still so close-minded about what he thinks drag is. He said that he's going to continue to do Britney, and he's also shown that he just does not know when to shut up. He just kept talking and talking and talking. I just thought he made it way too far on the show. I thought that they were trying to just give him more exposure because he definitely had the biggest name out of all the girls, but he definitely did not deserve to go as far as he did. And then last up was Chi Devayne, who is now officially a full-time drag queen. And she also got a video message from the one and only Jennifer Holliday, the original Dream Girl. I think that is just fantastic, and you can definitely tell she was really honored to get that. So after RuPaul caught up with all the girls, it was time to find out who won Miss Congeniality. And last year's winner, Katya, came out, and she was as scary and as wacky as ever. This year's Miss Congeniality was Cynthia Lee Fontaine, which I think is awesome. Usually the winners of Miss Congeniality are girls that made it really far in the competition, and she got eliminated, I think, like, what, in the 3rd episode? So that really shows that she made a really big impact on the show. And then it was time for the big reveal, the winner. And before they announced the winner, they had each of the past winners of RuPaul's Drag Race do a little runway walk on stage and give their advice to each of the girls. And my favorite of all of them was definitely Sharon Needles, who said, "Just be yourself, unless nobody likes you. In that case, be Alaska." Which I thought was very sound advice. And then the moment of truth. The winner of RuPaul's Drag Race is Bob the Drag Queen. Yay! I am so excited that Bob won. He has been my favorite since before the season even aired. I think that it was definitely between him and Kimchi, and it was a huge toss-up, and I was convinced Kimchi was going to win, but I think Bob is going to be a great winner. I think he has all the elements of a great drag queen. He has humor, he has vulnerability, and although some people say that his fashion sense isn't great, I think he does a great job expressing his personality through what he wears. And again, I am so glad that Bob the Drag Queen won. I think he's a great drag queen, and yeah, I'm very pleased with the outcome. This was a really great season. I was very impressed with all the girls. Again, I thought the final decision was fantastic. Thank you guys so much for watching these recaps. Please check out the rest of my videos on my YouTube channel. I have a ton of other videos dedicated to RuPaul's Drag Race. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next season. Bye!